We make an assumption that people know what a different set of behaviours look like. Why do we make that assumption? Because we automatically assume that people know right from wrong and therefore they know how to behave appropriately. Well, that's not a reality.
I used to have a chip on my shoulder that was that big. Now it's like that. It forgets and it doesn't go, it just stays around there.
Dean said it beautifully last week when he accepted this award in Tassie. You know, he said it's a lot easier to build strong children than to repair broken men. You know.
And one thing I say with my sons is, look, parties late on a Saturday night, whatever. If there's confrontation in the air, if there's violence, you just walk. You just don't need that shit. You know. Serious things happen, bad things happen, and people do things. And good people do bad things because there's that spontaneous combustion and it just bursts out.
If there's a complete absence of modelling or role models about decency, about thinking about the things that are expected of our society as a man, and that's changing, you know, I guess my concern is the role models we're seeing today, and I think of sport today, and the really heavy association of alcohol with it. And that seemed to be okay. Well, to me, as a dad, as a man, I find that not okay.
There are good people. I imagine if this is going before June, there'll be young men who'll be watching this who know in their hearts they are good young men. But they have made a mistake, and now society is saying, well, you've got to pay for that mistake. Hopefully one of the things to learn is to avoid those situations. If there's danger in the air, if there's violence in the wind, just move away.
You know, in Quarry Fields, 40% drop in crime rate in the first 12 months. And what did we have? A barbecue and a football. That was it. But you'd have 100 kids there playing because it was someone to talk to, someone to play with, and they were fed, basically. So it's quite easy to engage kids. I don't find that hard, and I find that it's simple. It's down at their level in a sense. You play with them, you talk to them, you joke with them.
I do get angry about the way masculinity is presented, to the younger generation especially, in movies, and so it's a lot to do with violence, with vigilantes, with the good guy against the bad guys. That's okay when you're, you know, a 5 or 6 year old, that's kind of nonsense, but it's being pushed more and more to adolescence. And those kind of role models, I think, are very, very damaging and dangerous.
There are occasions when you have to stick your neck out, and one thinks of that as being linked to the more traditional notions of being a man. I mean, we take the prisons. On one occasion I had to go alone into a yard with several hundred people who were in a, you could say, riotous frame of mind. And I decided that the choice was between using some sort of force or going and saying, what the hell's all this about? And we'll all sit down while we talk.
I think men have a huge, huge responsibility to provide good role models, because bad ones can really influence, you know, many, many thousands of kids, I think.
Men don't even get to the first stage because we all don't want to say anything. We all know, I mean, even like I said about myself, we don't even want to say it to ourselves. You know? Yet you've got all these, and you've got all these behaviours around anger, you know, on both ends of the anger spectrum, that is pushing people away. And you end up stuffing up all these relationships, and it breaks your heart, and you just feel even worse. You don't even want to talk about it because then somehow that's your identity, and you know.
And so, on a personal level, I have discovered that talking does help. And so sometimes some of the things you think are issues, when you're simply talking about it, you go, oh, it's not such a big deal. The roof didn't cave in when I discussed that, and I didn't lose my power base or my masculinity, or no one thought that I was a Fruit Loop. Things just continued on the same.
You look at the film, that's why relationships is a theme. Every one of the characters who makes a change in the film is supported by someone. And it started by conversations with aunties, with family, with friends, or men in a men's group, or with professional services, you know. You can't do it alone.
Yeah, getting getting men to talk is a great thing, and men want to talk especially when they feel comfortable around, and they know, because it's in life, they go, this guy's been through down the same road as I've been down. I want to tell him, he can relate to me, and I can relate to him. Wow! But look what he's done. Maybe I can do that too. When they start talking, that's great.